Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. This is Chris at Bray, commentating from the depths of London on this Ohio State final between Neil Kazaross playing the ochre or yellow checkers and Cary Hoarty playing the black checkers. This is a 13-point match. Winner takes all, so it was double elimination, but the format's changed slightly. So it's one match to 13 points. They have 2 minutes per point on the clock, and I'm guessing 10 seconds per move. And we will be underway shortly. For those who don't know me, I write for the USBGF weekly with Bray's Learning Curve. I've written 9 backgammon books, and I write a weekly column for the Times of London. I played backgammon for a long, long time, and I've known Neil for a long, long time. Cary, I don't know at all. And we're up and running with a 5-4 as the opening roll. And a reply 5-4 from Neil. So I will occasionally I will try, if there is a contentious position, to put it very quickly into XG on a laptop, but I can't promise that one. I may also be joined by my co-commentator Michael. The timing of this match was brought forward and we can't reach him at the moment. Hopefully he will join us in due course. Here we are in a mutual holding game where both players have made their opponent's bar point. These are not difficult to play. We're basically looking at building a board and waiting for a large double. And if that doesn't happen, someone will run out of time and be squeezed off the bar point. So not much excitement in this first game as yet. They're using a baffle box, I notice. And it's 12 seconds per move. I've just spotted that as well. So Cary, I don't know at all, I'm afraid. I'm told he's up and coming. He looks younger than Neil. I first played backgammon with Neil about 40 years ago in London. And I've also bumped into him a few times at Monte Carlo. With that 4-2, he can take a risk because his opponent's got 4 in a board blots. And of course, for the last 2 years, everybody has had the pip count given to them every time they play backgammon because everybody's been playing online. So now we're in a live environment. The pip counts have to be done by the players themselves, which takes a little bit of adjustment. So Neil will probably do a pip count in this position to establish who's ahead. He's 135, he's got 8, so he'll be 127, 30, 50, 74, 92, 97, 91. So black is well ahead in this position, so Neil will probably want to hold on to the bar point for contact. We'll wait and see what the decision is. If he's going to hold the bar, then he's probably just going to slot his 3-point with a double 2. The alternative is to play 18 to 16 to stay precisely 6 away from the point that Cary will find most difficult to dismantle, his 15-point. So this looks like this is Neil's plan. Neil's count after this play is 125. And his opponent was 114. So Neil will be 11 pips behind after the roll. So he's basically taken this as a halfway house play. So playing potentially for the race in some instances, but also as a holding game as the other half of his game plan. So again, you'll just see some jockeying for position. So 2 points made by black, Cary. So Neil will happily give up, as he will probably. He needs to think about potentially disengaging from the midpoint, because if he makes the 2-point and slots his 3-point, it won't be long before he has to give up the midpoint. So he's better off doing it now. That gives him playability, it gives him time. So Cary should just make his 4 point and play 6-5 here. So now, given that a shot is imminent, so you could play this very purely and you could slot the 3 point, which is what I think Neil is going to do, because if he does get a shot, most of his hitting numbers will probably cover one of the blocks as well. This is the second option, and this is where XG, our friendly computer, will tell you exactly which is the right move and which isn't. So 6-3. So he's down to 1 spare 6. So Cary has the advantage, but Neil in terms of the race, but Neil has the timing advantage. And very soon, someone is going to have to blink and give up. Oh, ignore that remark. 5-5 is probably a game winner, and this will be the end of the first game, unless, no, it's not good enough. So this will be double and pass. Yeah. So 1-0 to Cary. Well on his way. So in the early part of the match, the score is largely irrelevant unless the cube gets up to a high level. Once you get within 8 points of the winning total, then the score will influence the cube decisions and also the checker play decisions. Okay. So standard opening with 5-1. Good 4-2 reply. No great problems here so far. 2-2. So he's got the option of 13-9 twice. He can point on the 2 point, but that gives a horrible structure. I don't like this play. I would probably play 24-20, take my opponent's bar point. He's still got 2 rear checkers. Yeah, this looks like the most logical play. So you don't have to rush things in backgammon. There's no urgency to attacking, and he didn't have enough checkers for the blitz anyway. So now you get to a more difficult decision for Neil. So his opponent has a high anchor. When your opponent has a high anchor, you normally want to have a high anchor as well to counter that. So he could try and make his opponent's bar point, or he could try and make his opponent's 5 point. This play duplicates 3s very nicely and keeps 2 checkers in an opponent's board, which can be linked to form an anchor. 6-2 is not going to be difficult. It's going to hit because there's virtually nothing else. Whoa, 6-4 on a fan. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 checkers, an early double. It's nice and aggressive. So my rule of thumb is if my opponent's only got a 2 point board, I've probably got to take. So one of the results of online play over the last 2 years, people are now cubing much earlier than they were, and our understanding of match play backgammon is much better than it was. So Neil has survived the blitz attack and has got an anchor. So he's got a timing advantage. So Cary should have been just had a quick look at potentially running off the 20 point. I need to do the pip count, which I'll try and do in a minute. They're playing very quickly. What's that? That's 3-1. So 3. So again, keeping his checkers in front of his opponent, so with the potential to make the 9 point and the bar point, but he's been hit. So that's probably equalised the position. 2-2. He's going to hit with one of them and then think about the other 2. So he wants to keep the 8 point. Probably wants to keep his opponent's his opponent's 5 point. So he's got the option. But this is the option. It's either this or 13-11-2, and I quite like this play. It keeps the checkers connected. 2-6 is ugly. So the 2 is forced. The 6, he has a choice of 2. Looks like 15-9 rather than exposing a third block in a place where he doesn't want to be hit. So, but this is a tempo play. So, okay, 2. So he's going to hit twice here. So Neil is now in a lot of trouble unless he rolls 1-1, obviously. 1-2 hits and makes the 5 point. Oh, is that necessarily? Oh, sorry, he only had one more to play. My apologies. So 3-1. So this is now a well-balanced game. Double 3, fantastic roll for Neil, known as a joker. So now, time to think. So Neil has a position advantage, he has a threat advantage, but he still has 3 rear checkers. Hi, Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hi, Michael. You join us at an interesting moment.
Well,
so, Neil has a very difficult decision to make here. So, he owns the cube. His opponent has 2 checkers on the bar. Now, that's probably going to be 12-6. He would love to cover the big play is 13-8, 2-1. This is okay. So now.
Now there's cube
action. Yeah. So 2 checkers on the bar. This is potentially an 8-point game, and that was a very quick.
Well, I think a 2-point game is more practical from Black's point of view.
Yes. So that could have been a very swift rise to 8 points for Neil. So it was a correct take. He may have had to redouble the roll before, but we didn't have time to look at it. So it's 2-1 to Neil. So, Michael, do you want to introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Michael Neagu. Many of you know me from live or online tournaments. And we're watching here a very interesting match. Neil obviously is the massive giant from Chicago. Everyone knows Neil. And Cary is the upcoming youngster who's done very well since he started playing only a few years ago.
I think you may have missed a cue there. So I've been studying a few of these positions. He has a very big long-term advantage. Neil has nothing. So despite the fact he has no other checkers in the zone to attack, and again, Neil still doesn't have an anchor. So I wouldn't be surprised to see.
I would consider cubing this, yes.
Yeah. The question is, do you have a take? No. So it should have cubed the roll before, but it's made no difference. He's basically won a single point. 2-all. So they're playing very swiftly. They've hardly used any time on the clock so far.
Actually, Cary has used no time.
Okay.
Or did they start with 25 or 26 minutes?
26 minutes. They started with 2 minutes per point. So it was a standard opening, 6-3 followed by a 6-5. 2-1 is a lovely roll. And 6-5. So if this is a cube, it's a take, but it's 6-8, 9 checkers in the attack zone. Probably not enough threat. So, but this is a great roll. So now Cary needs to respond well, which he has done.
And he did.
Yeah. So you can take the anchor, or you can come in and hit. If he hits, then he's really only got 2s to cover. So
I would anchor up here.
I would make the anchor, but it's close. Yeah. So I've watched Neil play for years, so it's nice to see him playing live, so to speak.
Indeed.
Okay. He would love an anchor, but he's not getting an anchor. So
You might upgrade the anchor to an outfield one.
So 5 and 1. So it's probably going to play 13 to 8 with the 5, just because you could have the 23-point anchor, but I think that's a little bit. Oh, sorry. It's look at.
That's
Getting into the
upgrading the
battle
anchor.
box. Yeah, I got the wrong player. Sorry. Right, 6 and 4. Mm.
Huh.
It's not so good. The
Not the
4's
best.
really bad. Unless
You
he
just go to
runs,
the 3 points.
he can run out to the 20 to the 14 point, duplicate 2s and 4s, which is maybe the best bet. Otherwise, he's putting a checker out of play.
I would consider 13-3.
You can do this. Okay. When in doubt, hit, but I'm not
That is very
sure
optimistic.
about that. So
I would take a roll, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure you've got enough here to queue. How many can you see market losing sequences? A lot of doubles are quite nice, but anything
Indeed.
else, Cary's likely to anchor, I think.
Well, even more mundane sequences, you roll 4-3 from the bar, you hit and come down, and opponent enters with 1-6, 2-6, something awkward like this. That may be a market losing sequence.
Okay, so I'm 3-2. Now he's going to hit, I think, with the 2. Yeah. 3-1 hits back. So first person to fan is going to be in trouble. So
Indeed. But it may be a while until someone fans with this.
Yeah. 3 is awkward, only because 13 to 10 gives Cary a good 6 from the bar.
Right.
So that's probably why Neil's played 8 to 5. So now he's got an anchor, and he's going to hit.
Probably going to keep hitting.
Yeah, he's going to hit again. Standard protocol, procedure, whatever you want to call it. 3-5. So the 3 is clear. The 5 is probably equally clear. Professional backgammon or high level backgammon involves a huge amount of hitting, far more so than beginners sometimes think about. Double 2. Now that's an interesting roll.
Indeed.
So sometimes when you're playing backgammon, the first thing you look at, the first move you see is quite often right. So now he's got the opportunity. He's going to come in on the 4 to give himself a runner, and then you've got choice. Then you've got the choice between 6 to 5 with the pure double slot, or you hit.
I think you played pure this match.
Yeah.
I would have sorted the 5.
So now this is going to end up obviously in some type of back game. The question is, if you hit with a 3, what do you do with a 1? So you can just pick it up with 7 to 6, or you can play 8 to 7, so that you've got the prime slotted, but which gives Black a good 6 from the bar, but he probably won't hit even if he does roll a 6, because he won't want to give up the 2 point. So this is the pure play. Double 6, not so that's very advantageous for Neil. This looks like a take if it's a double. I don't see why. Black should have plenty of time here, I think.
Timing may be a little more precarious than it appears.
So 3. So now he's got a 4-point prime. The 5 is pretty clear. So 2 is clear. obviously, coming in with, I think, with the 2. And then do you play 23 to 22 to create another runner?
I would have done that.
Yeah. 5-2. So what you don't want to do is pile loads of checkers on top of that prime, because then they're going nowhere. So Neil's objective is to build, for the moment, is 9 and 10 point.
You clear the 15, I think.
So I would suggest that he come, yeah, this would be my play. Because once he makes the 10 point, he begins to squeeze Cary.
I think it's time
was why the other
double.
Yeah, that 2-1 should have been played to the 22 point,
yes.
because now he's only got 1 runner.
Okay, so 6 is now for black are horrible. I think he may have lost his market.
3-2. It's not great. And Neil is edging towards the cube here because black's timing is somewhat perilous. He has 6 rear checkers, and if he can't escape one of them very shortly, then his board will crunch. So, yeah, what a surprise. Nice cube. Perfectly timed, in my opinion.
I would not consider taking this, actually.
All right. What did he roll? 6-5.
6-5.
2, 3, 2, 2, 2.
I think it makes much difference there.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So
5 is a good.
That's a great number. Great number. Just needs to keep it going because he doesn't want it sent back again. So. But his timing is still perilous. So not too much excitement again.
Oh, another 5.
And that's another great number. So now he's just about got the timing for the 2-4 back game.
Mm-hmm.
So to play a successful back game, you need to be as many pips behind as your 2 anchors represent. So that was something I learned from one of Moshki's seminars. So black has 86 pips on his 2 anchors in Neil's board. So if he's about 80 pips behind, he's doing well. And either side of that, he's either doing it very badly or not well at all. Double 2 looks like he's just going to clear the 8 point, the most difficult point to clear.
It's true, but you're left with some.
Give him lots of 5s to play whilst he's trying to clear the bar point.
Not as many deuces to play.
Yeah.
But a lot of deuces actually come in, so this one. I think you just stack them on the 6.
I think he'll stack them on the 6. I'd be surprised if any other play was. Okay, really? Still looking at it. I'd still stack on the 6 point, but. So which is the most difficult point to clear? That's the question. So at the moment he is clearing the bar point and 2 checkers off the, or 1 checker off the 8 point. Okay. So
interesting.
Okay, so actually his 6s are frozen, or quite a few of the 6s will be frozen, so this may well be the right play.
Oh, this is the anti-joker.
Wow, what a roll. What a roll. Okay. So this will be no redouble, I believe.
That's right.
Although, I mean, white's position is is now horrible.
He's probably going to leave more shots. So.
So
I would not do it. But.
I don't know. It's a very difficult position. He's hit, so. So now what? So
you come to the
point
14.
He wants to make is the 8 point and the 7 point. Oops, and the battle box has just gone flying. Okay, so double 4 by Neil was an anti-joker. So he comes in with a 2, and then do you make a run for it, or do you play 6 to 1? 6 to 1 kills the third checker.
I'd play 6
now
to 1.
It's Black is way behind in the race, but positionally he's hugely ahead.
Well, I don't know if the race matters that much.
The race is not huge. So the question is, can White's lone checker in Cary's home board get home often enough to justify taking a cube here? I think the answer is probably no. So he can think about blocking jokers. So he can't block double 6. He can block double 5 if he wants to, or he can just spring a checker out with 21 to 17.
I think that would be my choice.
What did he? Sorry, I missed the move. He's still looking. Okay.
Yes, he's looking. He hasn't played anything yet. I think I would come out. I would love to block double 5s, but where do I play the 4?
Yeah. But I still think that there was a potential recube here because, I mean, White's position is just so poor.
Indeed. And White has some horrible numbers.
Yeah.
That may leave more shots, more dots.
So he's playing for outfield coverage, which seems entirely sensible.
Oh, wow. And there's a double 5s.
Wow. So our discussion about double 5s. Wow.
Indeed.
Well, even now, Neil has a lot of problems. He's going to leave more shots.
This is a nice roll.
Yeah, so
there
now
are dances.
6 checkers on the ace point. Let's see if he can get 10 checkers on his ace point. So 1. Now he can make the 8 point if he wants to, which gives him 5 points out of a prime. I don't think that's not my play. I'd have made the 8 point because I'm thinking about making a prime.
Okay, so this is
pick and pass looks correct. 5 and 1. Okay,
well,
so
if Cary had redoubled.
Neil is this is going to be a double shot again. 1, 2, 3. Right, so it's going to leave minimum shots. Going to play 8 to 3. So now Cary needs a 1 or a 4, or he's basically going to lose a gammon. And he's rolled double 3, which is not great.
Well, Neil seems to be the expert at double 4 anti-jokers, so
yeah.
You never know.
So now Cary has to try and run off the gammon, which looks unlikely. 6 and 5. So Neil is even on his highest point. Oh, box cards. These guys aren't mortal. 2, 3, 4.
It's a tough lead here.
Okay, so now Neil's got a lot of numbers that leave a single shot next turn. So this is, he still needs to utilize all his pips to get off the gammon. Okay, now an ace shot.
And here is an ace.
No, not yet. So the 5 comes in, the 4 comes up. So you optimize the use of the checkers. I think Neil's got 1 too many checkers to make it truly exciting.
Indeed.
2, 4, he's got 7 checkers left. So Cary should save the gammon here. 4-2. Okay. He'll have to roll very poorly to lose a gammon here. Okay, no gammon.
Right.
That was a game not without its excitement. That containment position where Cary could have blocked double 5 will be the subject to later analysis. I think also the cube that he didn't offer at that point would have been worth considering, because he may have been able to win the game without ever having to roll again. So 4-2 to Neil. 6-3. This is standard. Double 5, which will be 2 points. And if he doesn't come in, he can certainly win with the cube. He may be too good.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, 4.
No. It's
Still
a clear
cube.
double.
Whatever he plays, it's a cube.
Yes.
You win a lot of gammons here, and particularly as he's trailing.
The cube is clear.
9s to hit, 5s to hit. He's ahead in the race. So using position race threat, he's basically ahead in all of them.
What about the take pass decision? This is a little tougher.
I used to take these when I was a small boy. Nowadays, I'm really not so sure. I drop a lot more of these than I used to. You may be able to squeeze a take out of this, but it's no bargain. The fact that he's got his
2 checkers on the ace.
Points, yeah. The race is not that bad. 4 checkers. Let me go down there. And he passed. I think it was quite likely to be a take action. Just okay.
I'm not sure at all.
Not sure. And they're playing so quickly, we haven't got time to make that decision. Okay, 2-1. So 4-3 to Neil. Again, the score has no major impact yet. Right, 4-3. Oh, boxcars. So every so often you fan. 6 and 3 is going to hit and come around with another builder for the 5 point.
Right.
Yeah. There's no point making the 10 point when his opponent's got 2 checkers on the bar. Double 1's a nice reply. How do you play it? Yeah. I think
I'm not sure. I don't like 4 checkers on the ace.
The theory is, I think, that you can basically you'll be able to move some of those checkers next time, although Cary rolling 6-5.
Well, you're saying...
Ignore my previous remark, please. Okay. So that's
interesting.
Yeah, no, this
I would not.
I spin this only because there are 4 checkers on the ace point, and I'm trailing, and my opponent's also got a stack on the 8 point. So again, one of the things you learned during lockdown, or I certainly learned during lockdown, is that people in general are doubling far earlier than they ever used to. I mean, Black has got a huge lead in the race. He's got the better position. Okay, so
I think he may have more efficient cubes later.
Yeah. Okay, so I believe that was correct by both players, double and take. So Neil, oh, it's horrible. So for 2 rolls, he's not been able to move any of the checkers on his opponent's ace point. So that will just be Cary will just try to make points. Neil, right, new game.
That's better.
Yeah, that's better. All right, but he's not going to, well, I was going to say he's not far enough behind to play a well-timed back game, but at least he's got the option of playing a 3-point holding game or a back game. And he's basically said with that play that he's not got the timing to play the back game, and he'll play a 3-point holding game. So here you probably just make the 2-point. Hitting loose looks a little bit rich because it exposes 2 blocks. You could play down.
White has too good a board for them.
Yeah. Okay, Neil is slightly out of time, and Cary is slightly out of time. So
I'd rather bring 2 down than hit loose.
yeah, okay.
But probably making the deuces, right?
One of the things that Meshich's new book, Backgammon Strategy, has told us is that once you've cleared your 2 rear checkers out, you should be taking far less risk than hitherto has been the case amongst top players. And I've noticed a change since that book has been published. It's a magnificent book, by the way, and well worth buying, called Backgammon Strategy by Michihito Kageyama, or Mishi for short, and Roland Herrera. So it's been one of the most influential books published this year. So now what have we got? We've got a 2 to play.
Do you bring it in or you bring it down?
I leave my checker on the midpoint as
I think so.
an annoyance. But yeah. 3 and 1. Yeah. Again. Ooh,
this is not good at all.
That is not good. So how are you going to?
It's the roll du jour, double 4s anti-joker.
You want to put as few checkers out of play as possible. So you probably make the 1 point. You could do this. So this effectively has got 1 to play. So he will play 7 to 3. Oh, sorry, I've miscounted the 4s. So double 1 is, I think, pretty easy. No excitement, just bring them down. So Neil will release a checker off his 21 point if he can and play the 3-point holding game.
You cannot.
Borderline decision. You can play 7 to 1. But then if you don't roll a 5 or a 6 next time, you are in significant trouble. If you run out
and in.
This is what I would play. Doesn't mean it's right. 6-5 is a great roll, clears the point. So do you leave?
Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Come out because now numbers like 4-1, 4-2, which would point to a checker and leave only an indirect, are much more difficult to play. So coming out is absolutely correct, I believe. So Neil's trying to play this purely so that he doesn't burn any checkers and can make his remake.
But there's a high chance of a shot coming up. So do you want to leave 2 blots in your homework?
Well, you're going to need the point to win the game, so to speak. So 3-2 is an example of why you come out with a 5 on the last play, because otherwise that would have pointed on it. So now I think, yeah, you do this and this. So he's in a position to make his 6-point again. 6-2 is a great roll.
There is one massive anti-joker possible.
What do we got? Double 3?
Yeah.
Double 3 is the stuff of nightmares. Double 2 is the stuff of dreams. So 2 of clear. This is clear, I think, and off.
Yes,
yeah.
that's
so once you have cleared your 6-point, you reduce your chances of being hit in games like this by 30%. And again, Neil is playing this purely. 6-5 is great. This is probably going to end up being a single game unless something remarkable happens. So, but note the mark of a master. He's rebuilt his board after that horrendous double 4 earlier. Rule number 1 in backgammon: keep all your checkers in play, if you possibly can. So there's still chances for Neil if Cary rolls 6-5 next time.
There are still gammons as well. Anything can happen.
There are still gammons to be had on a really good day. So this is going to be played safely.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah. So now 6-2 and 5-2 are bad. And you know it's not your day if you roll 6-2 or 5-2. 6-3 is fine. So stay for one more, but he'll be leaving next time. So now 8 bad numbers. So you'll hit a third of those. So he'll win about 3 games with the hit, and about 1.5 games through some freak race. Cancel both of those. And now
how many checkers are there on the eights?
Yeah, this is just going to be so barring very small numbers. That's a very small number. 2-1. Okay. So now I can put pressure. So Neil needs a 5 or a 6 or a double. That'll do. Okay. So 5-3 to Cary. Let's have a look at the clock. So Cary's used 5 minutes. Neil has used 8.5 minutes. Okay. So the influence of the score is not quite there yet, but Cary is 8 points away from winning the match. So the gammon with the cube on 4 would do it for him. So the score begins to exert an influence at this point. 3-2 is probably split at the back and come down.
Why not put a spare on the 8?
I don't like this. I've got the better board. I'm going to be slightly more proactive. So, time to take a risk in backgammon is in the opening. Now you can play the German, what we call the German 4-3, by splitting both, moving both rear checkers. And you can also play 6-2 here, hitting, to take the tempo away and to protect the blot, which is a standard 4-3 replies to certain opening rolls. And that's worked well. 5, yeah, 3. So
now you attack.
6-2. So I'd prefer, yeah, okay. You got the better board, so logic says you should hit. Duplicates 4s to a certain extent. You can run a checker away. That's the other option. Play for the race. $120, so that's 126. He's well ahead in the race, so this is a difficult decision. So it's entirely possible that running away was correct there, but again, without time to analyze it a little more deeply, it's difficult. 3 is awkward, but the 6 is, so it's going to come out with the 6. Probably keep the rear checkers connected, so this duplicates 4s. Double 3 could be the end of the game. So which other point do you make? He's playing purely. So Neil has what's known as the rack, the 4, 5, and 6 points, but that's a great reply. So he's going to make the anchor. So now a 3-point holding game is far less volatile than many other variations of the game in backgammon. This game will now go on for a while. So he's going to hit, make the point. Okay, could have come out with the 5 and held the midpoint. So I think he's now looking at that. So if he comes down, he leaves good 6s and 1s. If he comes out, he can. Ooh, he's giving a lot of credence to his opponent's better board there. It's an interesting play. Okay, so no cube here, obviously.
How many do you hit?
Well, he's only got 8 checkers in the attack zone, and now he's only got.
I will hit on the 5 and bring the 4 down.
He's only got 1 cover number. If he plays 17 to 10, this could. Ooh, wow. Okay.
This is a bit too much.
Double tiger play. Double tiger means exposing 2 blots in your inner board, but putting 2 or more of your opponent's checkers on the bar. So the passive play is 13 to 6. This is probably right, but I wouldn't hit the 3rd one. I'd come down 13 to 9.
Great.
and then you only affect. Okay, well, it's beautifully aggressive.
Oh,
It didn't quite work.
the roll du jour, double fours.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The problem with black's position is most of it's absolute rubbish, and he's about to get cubed. So I can't. It's just that his position has been decimated. Is maybe too strong a word, but it's certainly a mess. And now that's killing a checker, creating what's called a dilly builder, a checker that's going nowhere other than the ace point. From a timing perspective, it's very difficult to play this as black. He has only left a single blot.
An interesting cube situation.
Yeah. But I mean, the race is very much, I think, in
Very much in favor.
He's over 20 pips up. Yeah, so this looks like a very good cube. It's probably a take. So
the 9 point looks like a useful point to make here.
Yeah, the 9 point looks like a nice point to have. Then do you strengthen the board by making the 2 point?
I would come out.
Just come away. 3. I quite like this play. There's no danger in the inner board. And you can slot 6 to 2.
Indeed.
This gives Neil some flexibility next turn if he keeps that checker back on the 21 point, which I think he should do. I mean, there's no danger. So yeah, I like this play. 3 and 1. Well, Cary's forced into a very passive play. Yeah. So you just make another point here. I think this looks fine. Because of his structure.
Do you come out? 4s and 5s don't run on 3s.
Yeah, he's going to run away. He's got to, well.
You have that stack though.
5-2 only leaves 7s and 11s. So this must be better than anything else, I think.
That's
7. There you go. Should take up craps rolling, obviously. 2.
Oh, a hit.
Yeah, return hit. And the danger is being. Oh, wow. That's a
another hit.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So now he can hit outside with the 4-3. So basically he's gaining tempo. He's certainly not out of the woods. 6 and 5.
You make the 17, I suppose, right?
And 17 looks obvious, but yeah. So now, yeah, now Neil hasn't got any sort of blitz attack when he comes in. So this looks completely logical. 4 is okay, 6 is going to come out, so not much choice. Double 3, rolling well.
Indeed. Make the bar, right?
Yeah, make the bar. So from a truly terrible position, he's managed to turn this round with the aid of a couple of pretty bad fans by Neil. I don't think he's got anything in terms of a redouble here. It's a long way to go here.
I would not consider recubing this.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be spinning anything that looked like a cube here. What's that? 5 and 1. So 5, and then decide how to play the 1. You can get off double 5 by playing 15 to 14, which is the only hitting number.
Actually, double 5s hits anyways.
It does, doesn't it? I beg your pardon.
No matter what.
Thank you. Well spotted, sir. Okie doke. Right. 1, 3. So yeah, it'll just come up. If I get the time, we'll do the count in a minute. So 63, 81, 9900.
That looks right.
Neil is 123. 3-2. Oh, that's Neil. Okay. 23, so that's 118. It's not exactly speeding along here. That's a bit of an awkward roll. It doesn't want to leave a shot.
It kind of plays itself.
Yeah, I think you're going to play 14.
There's only one play.
7-6, yeah. Yeah. Okay, if he rolls a 7, he'll hit. 6 and 4. You're going to have to come out.
Yeah.
You can't really afford, I don't think, to play 9-3, 9-5, because then if he doesn't,
you give up control completely.
Yeah. Yeah. This looks obvious.
Hmm.
So black's count is 106.
Oh, that is a good roll.
Yeah, that's a great roll. 99. So this is, can't really afford to leave a shot. So he's probably going to play 11-4, or he could play 6-3, 6-2, 6-3 at the cost of a 3 shot.
You will probably see the cube if you leave the shot.
Yeah.
I don't think you can afford to leave a shot.
99.
So if black runs with 2 checkers the next roll, white will have an average.
It's only a 2-pip race, so giving a shot must be wrong. So this looks correct. So let's leave 7s and 9s.
And double 5s.
And double 5. Yeah, it's a great non-hitting number, double 5.
Why would you not stay back? Sometimes black rolls an ace.
Because he's ahead in the race now.
No, but he doesn't have anything to lose.
Well,
contact will still be broken.
You can't take them off before you've got them in.
No, what I meant, Chris, is you can come out with 2 5s and stay there just in case black rolls an ace and cannot safety checkers. It doesn't cost you much.
I think you've got a much longer journey to home, so I'll quickly redo the pip count in a minute. Whoa, double 5 in response. Wow. There's nothing that beats rolling well in backgammon. Absolutely nothing.
Indeed.
1, 2, 3, 4. Right.
So what is the count now?
64-71. But
64-71.
The count is not quite true because of the extra checkers on black's 3-point and 2-point.
So black is ahead 7 pips?
Black is ahead 7 pips, and he is on roll, but he owns the cube. So when you're redoubling, you need to be more of a favorite than when you are doubling, because you're giving away an asset that you already own. So the weaknesses in black's position are the extra checkers on the 2 and 3-point, and the fact that he's only got 1 checker on the 4-point. So Neil's distribution is excellent.
Not quite. I think this is a recube. If the count is correct, 64-71, I think this is a recube.
24, 32, 42, 46, 58, 60. Yeah, counts right. So this is a take in my opinion, provided I haven't screwed up the count.
At this score, what I usually do, I mean, this is almost like money. And Keith is a pretty good method to go by in this situation. It says double take or redouble take.
What's the score? The score is 5-4 at the moment, isn't it? So if I have time, which I just about have, I can get this into the XG mobile on my iPad, and let's see what XG thinks. And this is a take by a double by 0.006 of a point. Dropping it would be a triple blunder, according to our silicon friend. So I suspect Neil is far too good to pass this, and he will take. So black will win this position 74% of the time, but the recube to 8 has to be factored in here, because the recube to 8 gives Cary the match if the cube goes to 8 and is accepted. So that was a good take, in my opinion. 3-2 is not a good roll. All right. Double 3 is a very good roll.
Is a good roll.
6 and 3 is above average. Double 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, I would play.
I would play to the deuce because 3s play well from the
Yeah,
c7.
I agree with you. So the score did come into account there, because if it was a money game, it would have been a clear double. With the fact that he was already leading and the cube was on. That's an interesting play from Neil. I don't think he needed to play for big doubles. That's a horrendous roll. So now black is pretty good favorite, and he's now super favorite.
Rather large favorite now.
Wow. Wow. So the dice can be very cruel in backgammon, very cruel indeed. So barring, oh, there's the first
ain't over yet.
Right, just needs 2 more. Actually, you can cope with, doesn't even need to roll 2 doubles.
Maybe just 1.
Just 1, just double 6. Don't muck about.
Oh.
He did roll it. Jesus.
Well, almost.
Wow. Still not favorite. Oh, come on. Double 4.
It is a tough league here.
So no mortals allowed. So 9-4. Now the cube, now the score really does influence the doubling decisions. Neil will be doubling earlier. Cary will be dropping earlier. Neil will be playing for complex games, primes and blitzes, whereas Cary will be playing for holding games and races, because your strategy is informed by the score. So typically with that 6-4, that's correct when you're behind. The correct play here is 2 down.
Actually, maybe
once
at the
your
score,
opponent opens with 6-4, you don't give your opponent
5-2 is the only response with which you split, actually.
Yeah.
But
3-1. Okay. So again, wow. So Neil will pause for thought after this sequence, I would suspect, depending on what his opponent rolls.
I think a cube is coming pretty quickly now.
Yeah, and you can see the impact of the score. So without the score being 4-9, Neil would have given that a few moments thought. But normally if you roll boxcars in the opening and you've got an inside point, it's quite often a cube anyway. I'm not sure it's a drop though.
I agree with a drop. Maybe it isn't, but yeah. I agree with it. I would have dropped.
Yeah. Well, you've got an anchor, you're in it forever.
Well, that's the whole point. You're really in it forever because you cannot afford to split ever.
The Moshi's rule is very clear. Or is he's not still thinking? No. What are they doing? They're doing a break, maybe? Neil seems to have frozen. Okay.
Oh.
Have they taken a break?
No, the cameras are frozen.
Okay, so sorry for those listening. We're not quite sure what's happening at the moment. We'll assume that the players will be taking a quick break at this point. The clocks are frozen and they're frozen. So please bear with us whilst we find out what's going on. I was just trying to recreate that position from the last game to see if it was in fact a take. I cannot remember Black's second roll.
See if we can back up.
Okay, so.
Okay, so 6-4 followed by 5-2, 2 down.
Yeah, followed by 5-3 for white, and then what was Cary's next roll?
I'll tell you in a second. I'm watching the stream.
Okay.
It was 3-1, making the 5 point.
Oh, okay, all right. So.
And then 6, and then double 6.
Yeah.
And after that.
Yeah, and then it was a double.
6-1, sliding the 4.
Okay.
And this,
yeah.
This is the position.
Right. 6-1, slotting the 4, and then it was a cube, and this 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Boom, boom, boom. So it's a double just, and it's a very clear take, despite the score. In fact, it was 4. Neil was on 4, wasn't he? So yeah, it's only just a double. It's a triple blunder to pass, which is what I would have thought, because White's position is very extended. He has the lead in the race, but the fact that he's got an anchor keeps him in the game for a very, very long time. So you don't lose as many gammons as you might think. That's quite interesting. So they played fairly quickly. I've been watching.
He has taken his time on some moves, but Cary is playing rather fast.
Yeah, yeah. It's a long time since I've seen Neil. He seems to have lost a little bit of weight since I last saw him.
It does appear to me that he's lost some weight.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Neil since before COVID.
Right. Have you avoided COVID?
I haven't gotten it yet, although I've done a lot of traveling to Europe mostly.
Okay. Yes, it's been a strange 2 years. I haven't played a single money game in two years because I've been playing the vast majority of my backgammon online.
Right.
It's been a highly educational experience, and I've also done a great deal of teaching since COVID started. So I'm hoping to get back to a more normal life. The players are returning. Okay, so they're resetting the checkers. As a reminder then, it's 9-5 to Cary Hoarty, who's playing black. Neil Kazaross is playing whatever colour you decide that is. Whitish.
Orange.
Ochre, or I don't know. Anyway, so 5-2. I'm surprised actually Neil didn't play 2 down with 5-2 as his losing.
Indeed, at the score, I would have thought.
Yeah,
so.
but that's a good result. Early hit back.
Nice anchor.
Okay, 5-4, pretty good roll. Double 5. It's not quite as good as it looks because he can't activate the rear checkers. 1, 2. So 3. You can play this safe. So Neil has a very slight, and that is a great roll given the position. 5-1's quite awkward. He's going to have. Interesting that he chooses that.
Indeed.
Okay. But his opponent has an advanced anchor, so it's the logical play. And I think you don't hit twice here. I would play 30.
Once you've stacked the midpoint already, I think you do hit twice.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
3-2. So Cary, has achieved what he needs, which is an anchor. So the 1 is going to be clear. 6-2. You could play 13-9, but it strips the midpoint. This is awkward, only so much as the fourth one. So this looks like 13-10, 3, and 6-3.
Yes.
Just because there's nothing else. Another 5-1. So it doesn't look like he'll slot. No, this looks pretty logical.
Other double threes.
Double 3 again. There are only so many double 3s you can roll before they become an annoyance. 1, 2, 3,
We'll find out.
4. Yeah. That's the obvious play. 5-1 again. 5. Ooh, okay. 5-1. Okay, stopped him being hit with a. Oh no.
So Neil needs 2 big numbers to get out of there.
So Cary will be slightly ahead in the race, but Neil is ahead in position. So Black will shortly run out of time unless he rolls something useful. So 8-1 is okay. I'd have looked very quickly at making the 4 point, but double 5 is a great roll. This looks pretty obvious.
Almost 6-4.
Yeah, 6-3. It's so close. So now you've got to think about the doubling strategies. 33, 57, 71, 83, 95. Neil's count is 97. Or 60, 67, 85, 90, 100. 102 for Black. So Neil has a 5 pip advantage, which is not huge. And as there is
score might give him a double, but I would roll. I would take a roll.
You need Black to have a structural weakness, I think, before you can double this position. And Neil also has an open 5 point, which is not going to be.
Well, as soon as Black rolls a 6,
yeah,
that's the weakness there.
Yeah. Despite the score, I don't think this is a double.
Well, it's an easy take. Anyway.
But Neil thinks it's a double, and he's a better player than I am. So. Okay, 5-1 is quite nice. It gives another builder for the 5 point. So now you make one of the points. Which one? Probably the better one. Probably.
I don't think there's much equity lost on that play.
The 5 point is the 5 point after all.
Well,
okay, all right.
This is awkward.
That's another good reason for doubling the roll before last is that that's going to be 1, 2.
You clear the 8.
I'm coming in from the 10 point. It leaves some funny 5s and some funny 4s, but if you come off the 8 point, then you also leave some funny 5s and funny 4s.
I would come off the 8 point, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Look. Okay. I prefer the right. So 4 and 5. So this is the high risk time for Neil.
Yeah.
5 and 4. So he's going to have to come off 6 point now.
It's actually not a bad roll.
Bad if he, whatever play he'd made, 5-4 was a bad roll.
He could have played to the ace.
Yeah. Okay. So now another 5-4 would do him good. 6-2 is a very bad roll.
Against that kind of board, you just minimize the shots.
So you can leave 3s or 2s. If he leaves 3s, then it's 13 shots. If he leaves 2s, it's 11. So he's going to leave minimums and then hope to get away with it. I think if you go back to the double, this is why I was thinking it was not a double, because of the difficulty of clearing the points. So first hurdle has been cleared without any problem.
Ooh, double shot.
He'd like something with a 2. Ooh, what's that?
Double shot.
Oh, God. So it could all end here with a gammon. So you just got...
Oh, plan B for Cary.
Oh, wow.
Plan B.
That's his best miss.
Indeed. Oh, my God.
So Neil's, oh my God, a second double six. Wow. Incredible. So the baffle box isn't dishing out fair dice at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
My goodness.
It's interesting. Well, another double. I'd at least have looked at the cube. It probably wasn't a cube because of the score, but you should at least look at it. So I follow Moshi's rule. You take 12 seconds over any cubing decision. So he's got 7 checkers against 5, 7, 9 checkers. If he passes, if he doubles and passes, mind you, if he doubles, he's going to redouble for the match. So if you pass and you're 11-5 down, he's probably glad he didn't double at the moment. So again, you can work out your winning chances from the match equity tables if you happen to know them or a formula to calculate them. And if you're playing the final of a serious tournament, I would have taken a couple of minutes there to do the match equity calculation and then made my decision. You can say that you can do it on automatic, but you're much better off actually doing the sums. I think he should play 2-1 here.
I agree.
Because he's got good 2s from 4 to 2. Whereas if he rolls a bunch of 3s, you won't like it.
It's not just that, but if he rolls 2 high numbers twice, he wants to have a checker on the ace.
6, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So now it's definitely not a double at this score. It's a double and pass for money.
So what is the take point here?
Quite
808. 808.
So if he drops to the 11-5 down, which is 6, 5, 10 divided by 14.
It's 12%.
42. So it's about 10%, 9%. One, two. So now he really does need to stop, I think. I think he's going to roll.
So if my memory doesn't fail me, 808, 208 is 12%.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
So the cube is there.
It's hard. You need to take your time and really calculate this one.
Yeah. Right. Oops, that's more. 5, 2.
So here's how I would think about
this
it.
is going to be, it's still double pass. You've got.
I think so, but I don't think it's by a lot.
I don't think you can take this.
Here's how I think about this. So if this was a 3-roll position, we know that's 21%, right?
Yeah.
But you're far worse than a 2-roll position because you need the opponent to roll an ace as well in the next 2 rolls.
Yeah.
The odds of the opponent rolling an ace in 2 rolls are about 50%.
So
I think you have about half of the 21%, 10.5. I would, if I had to guess, I'd say you have 10% winning chances here.
Okay, so let's put this into XG while we've been sitting here. And this is a massive double and it's a tiny take.
It is a tiny take.
It's a tiny take because Neil will win 13% of the time from here, and that is just enough. So he's as good as anyone in the world at doing the calculation.
Correct.
So it's a very good double, and it's good that he didn't hold back and just roll. And he could sort of roll 3-2 twice as well. So it's not just an ace, there are a few other missing numbers.
Yes, that
could roll double 1 followed by an ace or a deuce.
Or you can roll 2, 1, 3 times.
So this is going to be the end of the match.
Indeed.
3-2. This is going to get exciting. Here comes the cube to 8. Right, here we go. Everybody watching. 5-4. Okay. So Cary has 2 ways to win this. And that's the first one. Well done. Fine final, very short. Finishing with an 8 cube. I think Cary, I can see being embraced in the background by a young lady. So congratulations to him. Commiserations to Neil. There were some very interesting positions during the course of the match, which will be worthy of analysis afterwards. And hopefully we'll get the match file and we'll have a look at it. So as with any backgammon match, there are always positions that are worth studying after the event. And I'm sure you celebrate the victory, but you analyze the defeat, a well-known quote. So Cary can go off and celebrate with a few beers, and Neil will probably go away and analyze a couple of his decisions, but that's the nature of human beings and backgammon. So thank you for listening to us. I think we've done our job, and we will retire to our respective bars, or in my case, it's 11 p.m. at night. So I will probably shortly head for bed. Thank you, Michael, for your company. Anything last?
Thank you, Chris, and thanks everyone for watching.
Okay. Right.